I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
What's good? We're going to get into Backlash predictions. Backlash takes place on Saturday, May 9th. The match card seems pretty okay. As of right now, I think we have 5 matches. There may be another match added, maybe, to Backlash. It all depends on what happens on SmackDown. But as it stands right now, we have 5 matches. That's not good. I don't know why we always have to do 4 or 5 matches for these shows. I feel like Backlash should at least have at least 6 matches. At least 6 matches. But you know how Triple H is. So apparently, for Backlash, they're setting the building up to receive at least 10,288 tickets. That's what they're hoping to get, which is fine. That's fine. That makes sense on that end, So that's good there. And they should be able to fulfill that, right? Even though Cody's not going to be on the show, you got Roman there. So you got your 2 biggest stars. You got one of them there. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get into the card. So, right now, we only have 5 matches. Let's start with Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. This match would have happened at WrestleMania 42 if Braun Breaker was not injured. Thankfully, he is back. This match should be fun. This match should receive a decent bit of time. I would say a good maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Probably a good sweet spot would be about, for me, probably a good either 16 or 18 minutes. Braun Breaker should definitely win. He needs to establish himself as a dominant force on the Raw roster. But I also think that this feud should continue. So this feud should last, I would say, until probably Money in the Bank, which I believe is in July. So you have Braun win their first match at Backlash. Rollins wins the next match, which would probably be in June. I think they're going to be in Saudi around that time. So, yeah, you can do Rollins and Braun there again. And then Money in the Bank is sometime in July. And so you have Braun win the feud there, right? Because I think they're going to position Seth Rollins to go after Roman Reigns. I think that's what they're going to end up doing for SummerSlam. That's what it basically seems like to me. I don't know, but that's the rumor going around. Because, they're going to have Rollins go after the world title at some point. And if you're going to do Rollins and Roman, you might as well go ahead and get it out the way now. At least get it out the way by SummerSlam. Because you don't want to take it into the fall. Right? That would be dumb. That would be very disastrous if you ask me. But it is what it is. Braun Breaker should win that. Moving on. This leads us into Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn for the United States Championship. Trick Williams should obviously win. They are slowly but surely leaning into the heel turn of Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, in my opinion, has already went heel. You don't want to take the title off of Trick. He just got it. He just won it at WrestleMania. So why would he lose it 2 or 3 weeks later? That'd be dumb. So I do expect for Trick Williams to retain. But who goes after Trick next? Do you do Trick and Mello for a little while? And you run that feud again? Because they have tons of history via NXT. And I think that's the best way you handle the shit. You can do that for a good 3 months. You have Trick and Mello feuding over the title, or you can do Trick and Ilya over the title for 3 months as well. There's stuff there, right? So there are contenders there for Trick to deal with. Now, it does seem like they are going to turn Trick babyface, which makes sense because the crowd loves him, and Trick's a megastar. He's fucking awesome. I've been a fan of Trick since day one. So, there's that. But Trick should win. What he did with Sami Zayn going forward, I have no idea, and it really doesn't matter. I still think the plan is for Sami Zayn to probably be world champion at WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia. I think that's the plan they're going to go with long term. So they probably will turn Sammy heel. But I do think that Trick will more than likely walk away as champion. Moving on from that, Danhausen with a mystery partner versus The Miz and Kit Wilson. This match should really be on SmackDown, but it's fine because I feel like what they're going to do here is have a mystery partner. Well, duh, he's already going to have a mystery partner, my bad. But I feel like Danhausen's mystery partner is going to be someone who loves money. That's what Michael Cole said on Raw. And I think it's going to be Shane McMahon, right? It's not going to be CM Punk. It's not going to be Will Hobbs, a.k.a. Royce Keys. So, no, that's not going to happen. And I think that would be a good assumption because he has history with The Miz anyway. And I think that would be good. I think people would pop for that. I think that would be great. And Shane had been in WWE for a good 7-8 years, I think. I think he was last in WWE back in 2019. So, there's that. Because I think the feud with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Shane McMahon and The Miz, I think that went on for a while. And I believe all that happened in 2019, I believe. So, that's fine there. You bring in Shane McMahon, that makes the most sense. So, yeah. Danhausen and Shane McMahon are definitely going to win. And it makes sense for the mystery partner to be Shane McMahon. Again, CM Punk's not going to do that shit. It doesn't fit his fucking character. And Royce Keys just got there. And you're not going to put Royce Keys in like a comedy match. It's not going to happen. Nah. Moving on. Another match I'm looking forward to. Io Sky versus Asuka. Who wins this? I'm going to say Asuka wins and they still continue the feud. But I also think they are going to bring back Kairi Sane. They need to. Because if they don't, and they just use her just for this one storyline, and then she's out the door, then she's going to basically go back to Stardom and also work for AEW in the States, right? So I do think they'll work out a deal. They meaning, Triple H, Nick Khan, they'll work out some type of deal to get Kairi back and bring her back in this, right? Because without Kairi, once this feud is over with between Io and Asuka, what do you do with Asuka? And I'm terrified of that. What do you do with Asuka? Because that's scary to me. That's very, very scary. Because Asuka's been there for a good 10 years. And I don't know what they would do with Asuka, right? I hope to the creator above they wouldn't release her, but you never know. You never know. I don't think they would. I think they probably would make her maybe like an ambassador and then probably maybe put her in like a producer role. But Asuka literally has done everything. She's done everything. And she's a utility player, much like Bayley, right? I mean, she's done everything. So I don't know. But hopefully they can bring back Kairi Sane. They should be able to work something out with her. But I do think that this feud should continue after Backlash. We could get 3 matches out of this, and we should be able to. You could also do this in Saudi in June. I would basically end the feud at Money in the Bank in July. And that's what I would do. Because you don't want to take this thing into SummerSlam. That's too long, if you ask me. That's way too long. Moving on, this leads us into another match I'm looking forward to, and that is the main event of Backlash, Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu for the World Heavyweight Championship. This match should be fun, and we all know that Roman Reigns is going to more likely retain here. But I'm wondering if they're going to bring in Zilla Fatu, and I wonder if the Usos are going to turn on Roman, right? So, Jacob and Roman, every time they've brawled with each other, the Usos have not been there. But I do think Roman more than likely will retain. I think he'll retain. Maybe you have a ref bump. You have the Usos. They come out. They act like they're going to align with Roman. They turn on Roman. Maybe they hit the 1D on him and super kick him or whatever. Jacob Fatu, tries to do the Tongan death grip. Roman gets out of that. He tries to lock in the guillotine. Takes out Jacob Fatu. And then he ends it with like a spear. Or at least 2 spears to put down Jacob. And then Roman retains that way. Then, let's say Zilla Fatu shows up. He beats the shit out of Roman. He puts Roman through a table. Jacob locks in the Tongan death grip. And we don't see Roman for about a good month and a half, right? Because apparently, rumor has it that Roman's not going to be around during the month of June. But June is when they're going to Saudi. And Roman usually makes all of the Saudi shows. So I don't know how much of that is true or not. I do expect for him to take some time off, though, for sure. But I don't expect for him to miss Saudi, right? Because Roman's usually on all the Saudi shows. So that could be a possibility. But maybe you don't want to have Cody and Roman on the same show, maybe. I don't know, right? Because Roman's on Backlash, Cody's not, which is fine. So, there's that. And maybe whatever they're going to do in Saudi, Cody's going to be on the show, Roman's not. So, I don't know. But it is what it is. But I do expect for Roman Reigns to retain. And there possibly could be, a dissension within the bloodline. Roman getting turned on by the Usos would be cool. Then you can introduce Zilla Fatu in the equation, which would be fucking great. So that makes sense. So, hopefully Zilla shows up. If he doesn't show up at Backlash, that's fine. But I do think at some point this year, we will see we will see Zilla Fatu in the WWE for sure. Definitely, So, looking forward to that. So, let's go over the predictions again. Braun Breaker will defeat Seth Rollins, and their feud will continue. Trick Williams will retain the United States Championship against Sami Zayn. Asuka will defeat Io Sky, and their feud will continue, and hopefully Kairi Sane resigns and shows up. The mystery partner of Danhausen will be Shane McMahon, and they will defeat The Miz and Kit Wilson. And Roman Reigns will retain the World Heavyweight Championship against Jacob Fatu. But what do you guys...